Flosstube. I'm Amy. I am the Globetrotting Stitcher, and we're back with you today for a new episode. This is Flosstube episode number 16, and today's episode has been brought to you by the letter S for She-Hulk and Shenanigans. So if you hadn't noticed, we have two lovely ladies here out for a springtime ride. Also, I would like to serve notice to Carol Reed.
Black Widow.
Yes, Black Widow and She-Hulk. I would like to serve notice to Carol Reed that I blame her entirely for this nonsense. So for those of you who don't know, Carol is one of our regular viewers from the UK, and she leaves us wonderful comments, and she particularly enjoys seeing what new action figure shenanigans Gary's going to come up with every week. And so, Carol, this is in honor of you. So before we get into some of the stitchy things, just a couple of updates and letting you know what we've been up to. We are a little bit behind schedule, both in posting our most recent video that we had filmed, and then also filming this video, just because both Gary and I have been exceptionally busy with work. He had a project that came in from one of his clients, and so he's been really busy creating that. And I've had just crazy busy hours with my job the last couple of weeks, and so we're just trying to catch up now. Other than that, things are just kind of going along as normal here. Those of you that saw our last video know that we had a little bit of doggy drama and lots of time and money at the vet's office, and I'm happy to report that both Bear and Sophie are doing really well. Bear had some blood work done this week just to kind of follow up on how things are going, and everything looks normal. I think the biggest news for the two of them is that we've recently decided to start trying homemade dog food for them, and that's been a big hit so far. And it's actually been a lot easier than I thought it would be. So basically I just went to Costco and I grabbed like ground turkey and a big bag of brown rice and some frozen veggies. And so once a week I just throw a bunch of stuff in the Instant Pot, cook it up, and then it's enough for the two of them to feast on for a week. And let me tell you, we went from, in the morning they'd get their little scoop of kibble and they'd kind of be like, well, I'll see if I'm hungry later, to I've got two wiggling bodies in the kitchen waiting for me to put the bowls on the floor. So homemade food has been a hit. So we'll see how that goes. It's a little more complicated because you have to supplement with some like calcium and other stuff, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, that's what we've got going on. So let's get into the stitching. We've got a lot of fun things to show you today. So I've done some finishing on weekends the last couple of weeks, and so I have a couple of FFOs to share with you. So the first one is a finish from a couple of months ago, and that is Easter Parade by Blackbird Designs. So I think I finished this in October or November of last year, and it's just sort of been languishing until I had time to get it framed up. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Oh, we've got a specialty fiber right there. So I stitched this on 32 count in the pink linen by R&R Reproductions. Used all the called for flosses except for a couple of things I wasn't able to get, so I just subbed in the DMC. But other than that, it was a really quick and fun stitch. And I just picked up a frame at one of the local big box stores for less than $10, and had some extra acid-free foam core on hand, and so I was able to just mount it, pin it, and pop it in this little frame, and I'm really happy with it. It's not the world's most exciting finish, but I think it's going to be a nice addition to our springtime and Easter decor. So that is my Easter Parade by Blackbird Designs, fully finished. Let's see here. The next fully finished piece I have was a finish back in early January. Is it early January? No, it was before that. It was like November. Another November finish. And that is my April Cottage by Country Cottage Needleworks. So this has been kind of waiting around. I needed to pick a fabric, some fabrics for the backing, and put it all together. And so I finally got around to doing that yesterday. But I'm super happy with how it turned out. I had initially thought I would go with softer, brighter, springier colors. But when I was actually at the fabric store kind of trying to find options that would work and match the colors for the backing, this is what I ended up coming up with. And I am absolutely in love with and obsessed with this finish. So obviously got some darker shades for the backing here. But I was able to pull from my stash this little kind of trim, and you can't see the detail very well. You can't see the very detail very well from where you guys are seeing it, but these look like little fluffy bunny tails, which is so perfect for April and the little bunny that's in the design, and so I love it. And also this topper is just like the carrots. I cannot tell you how much those carrots are giving me so much joy right now. I'm absolutely loving how this finish turned out. And so I'm really excited to be able to put this up in a couple of months when April rolls around. So that is my FFO for the April Cottage by Country Cottage Needleworks. This was stitched on 28 count mushroom Lugano with all the called for flosses. So there we go. There we go. And then I had another finish. So the last time we filmed, I was showing you, did I show you? I can't remember if I showed you or not, but the last time we filmed, I was telling you I was getting close to a finish on my autumn section of my loose feather sampler by Blackbird Designs. I was probably about 2/3 of the way through, and I finally got some time on that in the last couple of weeks, and I'm super excited to say that I finished the autumn section. So let me show you, and what you're going to see, just because this is all part of the same piece of fabric and it's all being stitched together, you'll also see that I had a start on, let me hold this up so you can see. Well, this is awkward. This is the winter, here.
If you like, I could actually put a picture of what you just had in your hand.
Yeah, this?
Why didn't I do that?
Okay, that's
then
good.
You can see that and that.
That's perfect. This is the winter section of the chart. Gary's going to put up a close-up picture of what it's going to look like when it's finished. You guys, we're on fire today.
We're rehearsing from now.
Cut! Anyway, so here's where we are. I finished the autumn section of the sampler. As you guys know, this is the biggest bird ever in a cross stitch, but I did get it done. Finished my pumpkins, got my initials in, and really enjoyed working on the autumn section, and then rolled into a start on the winter section. And so this has been really fun to work on this week. I'm stitching this on 35 count Irish cream linen by R&R Productions. It's the called for color or fabric, but not the same count. So I think the count that is called for is a 32. I'm using a 35, using all the called for flosses. One of the things that I'm really enjoying so far on this new section, the winter section, is it's got a lot more of the pinks and reds in it so far. And so it's been really fun to stitch in that palette, and I'm really enjoying that. So this is just a lot of fun, and I can see the end in sight now, and so I'm really loving it and starting to kind of look at some framing options and thinking about what I want to do with it. But I'm just loving how this is coming out. I think it's absolutely lovely. One thing that was really fun this week, I was watching the latest video that Lorna, the Ladybird Stitcher, released. Hi, Lorna! And she was saying that she's been kind of watching my progress on this. And so she decided to go ahead and get these charts, and she's thinking about starting them later this year. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her get started with those. If you guys aren't already watching Lorna, you should be. She is a longtime floss tuber. She's been making videos for years, and she's one of my favorites to watch because she has so many beautiful projects on the go. She does mirrors, she's got several different full coverage designs, and she's a beautiful stitcher. So please go check out Lorna. Her channel is Ladybird Stitcher, and she's from Australia. Somebody else that I wanted to mention, so Marlene from Stitchin' by the Lake, in her most recent video, she's been working on this for a while, and she was showing her progress. As of her last video, she was almost done with the winter section, and she was going to be pushing for a finish. So you should go check that out. Keep an eye out for her next video, because I have a feeling you're going to see her finish on this. And can we just say, as a side note, that Marlene is like the sweetest lady ever. And I swear if I lived within 50 miles of her, I'd be knocking down her door once a week for a coffee and chat, because I just think she's a lovely, lovely person. So please go check out their channels and give them some love. But yeah, so all of that said, this is where I am on this. I did want to mention I've had a few questions over the last couple of months on this chart around folks who were kitting this up and were asking about whether you need more than one skein of floss. And I've been promising, okay, I'll update you as I go. So one of the things I have found is as I'm getting toward the end, I think at this point, with one exception, one skein of floss is enough to do the whole design in all of the colors except one. And that is this color that you use for the birds is maple syrup. And this bird here just ate up a ton of that floss. And I should mention that I am a pretty conservative floss user. I'm a bit miserly with my floss, and I play thread chicken a lot. So if I'm running out of floss, it's probably likely that others would run out of floss as well. I am going to try to eke out a finish, but I may have to sub in some DMC or order another skein of maple syrup. So the other one that I think I'll be okay on, I have a backup if I need it, is cider mill brown. But I think I would have enough in one skein to finish that. So if you're kitting this up, bear in mind you'll probably need 2 skeins of maple syrup. Everything else good to go. So anyway, that's where we are, and looking forward to working on this one again very soon. Okay, let's see. I'll just tuck this away back here. All right, so that's it for finishes. Also, if that's it for new starts. And the next thing I want to show you is, so the next whip is I spent a week working on my seasonal design, which is Holiday Ribbons by Laura J. Perrin. Those of you that have watched on the regular know that this, oh gosh, let's see here. This is actually a counted canvas piece. It's the first time I've done counted canvas, and I've really been enjoying it. And the last time you saw this, I was working to fill in the last of the background on the gift ribbon, and then also was working my way through the wreath ribbon. And the design overall is different, like themed Christmas ribbons that are intersecting. And it as a testament to just how quickly counted canvas work seems to go. I was really, really busy and had a couple of really late nights where I hardly got to touch this after work. And so this is where I am right now without having had a ton of time to work on it. So you will see, so the last time I was saying that I was still working on these 2 ribbons here. So when I worked on it, I was able to completely finish off this ribbon and get it all filled in. I also got the wreath ribbon fully filled in, got the bows on the wreaths as well as the beads. Finished off this section of the candy cane ribbon, and then also got the top of the wreath ribbon done. So now side and top and bottom, that's I've reached the edge of both sides, and then the top and bottom. So that's the dimensions of the piece. I also got really good progress on this section of the candy cane ribbon and got a really solid start on what's going to be the Christmas tree ribbon. So looking forward to working on this one again soon. This Christmas tree ribbon, I have a feeling is going to be a little bit of a beast. So we'll see how much time it takes to get that fully stitched in. But this is a real pleasure to stitch, and it's a nice break from cross stitch when it does come around in my rotation. So really, really enjoying that. All right. Let's see. The next piece I stitched was my full coverage design. This one is another one. Just did not get the kind of time and love that I would have wanted to give it. So the last time you saw this, this is, oh, by the way, this is Rose Trellis Inn by Heaven and Earth Designs, stitching on 28 count mushroom or 28 count white Lugana. So the last time you saw this, I had almost finished the turret, had finished off the window and was working my way down the pink panel on the side, and was just starting some of the iron filigree work. And so this is where I got to the last time I worked on it. So I finished this pink panel, got more of this filigree and kept working my way across the top, started getting in some of this roof here. But honestly, not much progress. I don't even think I got 2 full diagonals done this last time I worked on it, just because really, really busy week at work, really long days. But as we say, every stitch counts, and it is fun to see more of this picture coming through. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm also, now that I'm kind of out of all of this, which is really heavy confetti, this section certainly still has plenty of confetti, but it's not quite as bad. And so I'm hoping that the next couple times I work on this, I'm gonna be able to move a lot more quickly. So we'll see. But that is where I am right now on Rose Trellis Inn by Heaven and Earth Designs. Yeah, keep plugging away on that. Okay. The next piece I have to show you is one you have not seen in a while, and that is my wild card stitching. And that piece is, it's called Bush Market. It's by Hannah's Needlecraft, and it is, let's see here, I'll just tuck that here. Bush Market by Hannah's Needlecraft. I'm stitching it on a 32 count vintage country mocha. The last time you saw it, I had just started to work my way across the top of the tree in the design. And this time, before I show it to you, I'll give you a little explanation on how this works. Those of you who watch me regularly know that I have a pretty structured rotation, and I wanted to start this design last year, but it didn't fit into the rotation, and I wasn't ready to add another full week of a new piece into my rotation. And so I decided to do this sort of wild card spot, which is essentially what I do is when I have a finish in one of the other spots in my rotation, I try to fit in a day or two on this piece. So it doesn't get love super often. But despite that, I made pretty good progress. I put in 1 evening on it this last week. And so this is where I got to. As I was saying, when I had worked on it the last time, I just had like this little section of treetop here done. And so this last time I put in almost 500 stitches in 1 evening, and I did this whole chunk right here of the tree. And so it was really fun. I really enjoyed working on it. I was when I pulled it out, I was kind of like, I don't really want to work on it, but I'm just going to give it one day. I give it one day. And by the end of the evening, I was really enjoying working on it. I was really excited about the progress. And one of the things that really made me happy about this is as it's taking shape and as I was working in this section, it really is starting to look like the trees that you see on the savannah in Africa, particularly in Kenya, where I've been in Kenya. This is what the trees look like on the savannah. And so it's really fun to kind of see that taking shape and become recognizable as something that I know and love. So I expect this will probably come out again in another month or so, and looking forward to working on it again. Okay, the next thing I have to show you is my travel stitching, and if you aren't already seated, please do sit down, buckle up, because you're going to be shocked. This is the June Cottage by Country Cottage Needleworks. I am stitching it on 28 count mushroom Lugana, and when you saw this the last time, I had just gotten a new start on it. I was still working on the border that goes across the top. I had barely touched it. And for some reason, I got a ton of progress on this time around. And so let me see. This is where I am on it. I'm a good 1/2 to 2/3 of the way through on this. I cannot believe how much progress I've made. It's just been stitching up really quickly. So obviously finished off the top border. Finished this whole section, got a really good solid start on filling in this house. I stitched in the tree over here, started on the grass, started on the bottom border. I'm just flying through this and really, really enjoying stitching on it. I don't know if I'll have it finished by the next time we film, but if I keep stitching at the pace I've been stitching so far, I could potentially have this finished the next time we film, which would be really exciting because I'm going to be able to start a whole brand new series in my travel stitching once this one is done. So yeah, this is just, I'm loving the colors, I'm loving the brightness and all of the ladybugs and the strawberries in this design, and I've really been enjoying working on it. So that is, yeah, that's what we've got going on with the June cottage. Okay, the last piece to share with you today is Gary's progress on his chart that he's been working on. So he has been stitching I Love Fall by Cherry Hill Stitchery on a piece of 16 count, I think it's like a vanilla latte kind of Ada. You have anything you wanted to add, Mr.
No,
P?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So we were telling you the last time that we were working on this, he was midway through the white pumpkin, and we were talking about how it's been really hard for him to see. So when I purchased the fabric for this, I purchased a piece that was far too light for the purpose and for the design. So the original chart it's all white pumpkins, different shades of white pumpkins. And we figured out really quickly when we got this chart and he started stitching on it that white was just not going to show up. And so we've had to make some adjustments, and particularly on the one pumpkin that he did stitch in white, he had a really hard time. So fortunately, while he's been working on this last time, he did manage to finish off the white pumpkin, which you cannot see, unfortunately, at least probably not from where you guys are. And then started stitching on this pumpkin. And so as we were telling you the last time, we've kind of had to convert colors on the fly and go with other, something other than whites because you just can't see them on this fabric. But once he got past the white pumpkin, he started stitching more quickly again. So he's almost done with this little orange pumpkin, and that's the last of the pumpkins. And then he's just got a couple more little bits and bobs and leaves over here. And then he can start the words and the bottom border. So I think he's making good progress. I think it's looking really good. And I think you're still enjoying it, yeah? You still enjoying it?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
That's great.
It's wonderful.
You're very quiet today.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess I am.
Okay. Well, we all have quiet days. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of engine requires. Well, that's another topic.
It's a conversation for the neighbor.
But whatever.
We have neighbors that have super loud cars.
And they're not trucks. They're like these little tiny Hot Wheels cars. It's like Fast and Furious up in here.
Yeah. And they like to start them and let them run and run and run. And so it's a regular source of conversation and consternation in our household that, yeah.
Tis what it is.
It is what it is. So anyway, if you heard background noise, that was because the young man next door turned on his very loud car. Anyway, back to the stitching. This is I Love Fall by Cherry Hill Stitchery, and this is the piece Gary's working on. He has been talking about his next couple designs lately, and so I think he's kind of excited to get started on something new once this is finished. So,
but I can't start a project till I finish one.
He's a monogamous stitcher.
No, I'm a procrastinator.
Well, we're gonna move right along. Okay. On that cheerful note, that is it for the stitching today. I think we've kind of covered everything fairly quickly, despite it having had a lot to share with you. So just looking ahead to what we're going to be working on between now and the next time we film. I'm going to put in one more day on my winter section of my sampler and see how far I can get on that today. Then this next week, I am going to get back to my Fancy Lady. So my new start last time was Royal Holiday by Mirabilia. And I am going to put in a good solid week of stitching on her. I'm really excited to get back to her. She is so beautiful. And so I am hoping to finish her face and then get to start stitching on her beautiful gown. So we'll see what I'm able to accomplish, but I'm really excited to put some time in on her. Side note, you guys, I am super excited because I figured out how to The latest update on Pattern Keeper, you can take a chart that is a paper chart, take a picture or a scan of it, and import it to Pattern Keeper and use Pattern Keeper for that. And so this is the first time I'm going to be doing a Mirabilia in Pattern Keeper, and it worked really well for me the last time. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm excited to be using Pattern Keeper for that. So anyway, I'll be working on Royal Holiday, and then I will also be putting in some more time on my Holiday Ribbons by Laura J. Perrin. So 2 weeks of Christmas stitching in a row, which will be fun. We'll be plugging away on that June cottage and seeing how close I can get to finishing that up. And then Gary, of course, will continue to work on his I Love Fall and see how much progress he can make there. So that is pretty much it for us. We hope that you guys are all staying well, staying safe. Those of you that are eligible to receive vaccines, we hope that you're getting those. We've been really happy because we've got some friends who are frontline workers and in healthcare, and also some elder family members and folks that we know have been starting to get their vaccines. And every time I hear about it, it just makes me happy because I can say that's one more person that we love who's a little bit safer than they were before. So we hope that you guys are well and safe, taking care, enjoying your stitching, and we will see you soon. If you like this video, please give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Of course, we always enjoy your comments, try to get back to those as soon as we can. You can follow my progress on Instagram between videos. I am at globetrotting_stitcher. And also feel free to send us an email at globetrottingstitcher@gmail.com. So from Gary and me and Bear and Sophie, we hope that you have a good couple of weeks, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
What was that?
Bye-bye.